Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Behind Relationship Goals. I am Fofo and this is Bones Nagulat Siya because I started the podcast right away. Alright, hey guys, Bonizi. Look at Bonizi's face. She is shocked because she literally just sat down from turning on our audio recorder and I started the podcast right away.
I was supposed to brief you about what was gonna happen.
So she did the topics and the content outline for this podcast episode. She said she had this little game, question and answer thing, similar to what you see on TikTok. She wasn't able to brief me because I did not want to get briefed by Bonizi.
Yun naman pala. Dapat sinabi mo na lang, ayoko, Bones.
Well,
Let's go with the flow.
That also would have taken a bit more time and there was a chance that Bonizi would force me to be briefed and I was having none of it.
Eh, bakit ikaw naka-winter jacket? Ako hindi.
So, super lugi si Bonizi for the past couple of minutes. Hindi siya nakapag-prepare, hindi niya na-brief yung partner niya, wala siyang jacket, malamig sa kwarto kasi parang uulan sa labas. Tough. We're gonna have this podcast though.
So, just to give everyone else a briefer of what's gonna happen today, I prepared a number of questions which I literally just grabbed from the internet and I'm gonna ask Fofo these questions na pareho naman namin sasagutin. So, it's kind of like a refresher episode that we did a long time ago. A really, really long time ago.
This is fun because I told Bonizi that I wanted a fun podcast without any heavy topics. Pero malay natin. Malay mo, you ask a question, someone gets triggered, and wala na. Heavy topic na naman tayo.
Wala na. Baka umiyak na naman si Bones. But okay, let's start with it. I have 21 questions first.
Yes,
and then after that, I have 7 loaded questions.
It says, how well do you know me questions?
Okay. So simulan na natin. Medyo light. So Fofo, do I talk in my sleep?
Yes! Oh my God! I have to share videos of this. You know, I have been collecting videos of Bonizi talking in her sleep, and it's crazy how well she talks in her sleep. Bonizi responds. I kid you not. She really responds. So she's sleeping, and I'm gonna say, "Hey Bonizi, are you okay?" And she'll go like, I love you. Every single time. And if I wanted to have a conversation with her, she would mumble her way through that conversation. I've told you this, right?
Yeah. But I didn't realize it was like full-on conversation mode. But I remember you telling me about a time when you were like going in to like say hello. And then after that, I was like, I wanted to kiss you.
No, she does that. Actually, if I said, kiss Bones, you would go, There was even one time that I said, Bones, cute ka? And she was like,
Naging soma yata ako dun, Fofo.
I throw it back to you. Do I talk in my sleep?
Well, first off, I want to say that most of the time, I sleep ahead of you. So I wouldn't know. And I'm a pretty...
10 years na tayong magkasama, hindi mo pa rin alam?
No.
Walk out na ako.
Fofo, you don't talk in your sleep. I don't think you've
Biglang
ever...
sumagot ka na.
Yeah. You don't talk in your sleep, Fofo. But there are times when Fofo has like these moments when you just go, And I'm like, Fofo, okay ka lang? And I have to shake you a bit kasi akala ko nababangungot. So, whenever that happens, I'm always like, Fofo.
You shake me?
No naman, I'm like, you.
Sabi mo shake eh, gumagano'n
No
ka.
naman, light lang. Parang ganyan lang. A light shake on the chest. And like, Fofo, okay ka lang. And then pag hindi ka sumagot, okay na ako. And
Next question.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that I would like to try? Oh, ano?
Bakit baliktad the
Because
question?
this is a better question. I'm revising the question.
So
On the fly, just to catch Bonizi off guard because we love seeing an off-guard Bonizi. So what are the kind of things that I would like to try? How well do you know
The
me?
original question is, what are some of the things that you would like to try? So technically, I would be asking you, and you would answer. So now it's like a guessing game?
It's not... Oh, you don't know me?
I
You
know
don't know
you.
me? I know you. I don't need to guess.
Fofo, I know that you want to try living in a different country. And you want to try... I know you well. I know you want to try living in a different country. And Fofo is just here catching me off guard like he has been. But you want to try living there and being a barista somewhere.
Yeah, okay. So living in a different country, definitely something I'd still like to do. Hopefully, before we have a baby.
Yeah.
because I think that would be mightily difficult with a bebe.
With a bebe.
Being a barista to a certain extent, although I haven't thought about that in a really long time because we've been really busy. I think maybe that's something that I can do when I'm old and wrinkly. So tomorrow.
Huh? Agad-agad? Benjamin Button.
I'll be wrinkly tomorrow.
Okay, so Popo, what is something that I would like to try?
You know what? Bonizi would love to try bungee jumping. And, you know, as soon as the pandemic ends, we're going to go out and take a vlog of her bungee jumping.
How about no? That's
I'm
not
kidding.
something I want to do.
No, that is definitely not something Bonizi wants to do. You know, I think that if I were going to think of something off the beaten path in terms of what Bonizi would think about doing, she has thought about tattoos. But she hasn't decided. But if someone was more inclined between the both of us, I think that would be Bonizi. Because I'm not so hot on it yet. I can't think of something that I would want on my body.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I think tattoos are beautiful, but I don't know what I would want for the rest of my life.
I did mention this before, so this might be a bit of a boring answer. I think Bonizi would like to create her own keyboard foundry.
I'm a
like,
keyboard company.
She would like to have a keyboard company. Although I don't think she realizes how difficult that would be. But just the concept of, you know, having keyboards revolve around her daily life, I think is something that Bonizi would like and really enjoy.
Yeah! Okay, next question. How many places have I lived in?
Okay, Bonizi has lived in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And she has lived in Olongapo in Castillejo.
Castillejos. Good try.
And then she moved to Kalayaan in Subic, the base. She also lived in an apartment in Scout. And then in Delgado, also in Scout. You lived in somewhere along Wilson. Somewhere along Santa Mesa. You lived in 2 spots in Pasig and Green Hills. So I'd say 10 places.
Yeah, you got all of them correct.
Yeah.
High five. Okay, so Fofo, your turn naman.
So my question for Bonizi is, where do you see me living outside of Metro Manila and why?
Bakit ikaw lang? Pwede naman kasama ko rin.
Pwede.
Okay, wait, that's a serious question. Is this just
That's a serious
you?
question, yeah. No, I mean, just me, but you could be a part of it, possibly.
Okay, so out of Metro Manila, I see Fofo...
Not Subic.
Yeah, not Subic. I see Fofo living by the beach. He's such a beach lover and...
Specifically, what beach?
I would say either La Union or Siargao, depending on where you can get the best internet. Because internet is so important to our daily lives and our work. So I think that would be a big factor. But Fofo is such a happy-go-lucky person and he doesn't need anything grand or anything like over the top. Basta may bahay siya, may tubig doon, okay na yon.
And internet.
And internet, of course. And then a place that I see us living together, it really has to be Subic. For me.
Aside from Subic.
Aside from Subic.
Let me revise. Follow-up question.
Okay.
Where is a place that you would like to live with me that we've never really considered?
Baguio. Because it's so cold. Well, I don't like super cold weather, but I think the weather is just perfect for us.
I'm going to one up Bonizi, but it's related to your answer. The Baguio of Vietnam. Dalat, Vietnam.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
So, it's a province in Vietnam that I think a lot of people do know about, pero hindi lang talaga siya puntahan, especially for the Filipinos.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a different market for it in terms of tourists. But the 2 days that we were there, I found it extremely charming. And it was seriously so eerily similar to Baguio.
Sobra.
Just in Vietnam, in terms of the vibe, the weather, the food.
The festivals pa, they also have a
The
flower festival.
So for me, I found that really interesting, and because we don't know a lot about the place, I find it to be such an adventure. And I find it to be so mysterious that I would love to be able to stay there and just sit there for a couple of months and see what happens.
Yeah, that would be so cool, no? Living in a different country, in a language na hindi natin alam, but it's always exciting to learn new things.
Next question.
When you're upset, what is the worst thing that I do that doesn't help?
When I am upset, what is the worst thing that you do that does not help?
No, sagutin mo. Alam ko.
No. Let's do it the other way. It's more fun. because I got upset yesterday.
Yeah. I think one thing that I do that doesn't help when you're upset is that I don't take all things into consideration. I'm usually selfish about my feelings and how things are going, that sometimes I forget to look at the bigger picture and think about, okay, why was he really upset? Instead, I'm focusing on, why is he so mad? This is how I felt. So I have to look at both sides rather than just my own feelings and then go from there.
See, the thing with Bonizi, when we are both in an argument, she tends to put her feelings first, what she's feeling internally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those feelings internally will never ever help the argument between us.
Yeah.
So I see an argument as having, let's say, three
Conversation,
entities.
yeah.
Like, it's my internal feelings, the argument itself, and Bonizi's internal feelings. And our internal feelings, at least from experience, almost never really provides anything good to be able to solve the actual argument.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of us, even myself included, our tendency is always to, put our attention towards our inner feelings. Kasi yan yung pinaka-accessible sa atin.
Tapos
Yan
nawawala yung point.
yan yung adjacent sa atin agad eh. But the thing is, to be able to resolve the problem, you have to really deal with the argument itself. And, it takes a lot of focus and attention to drive your attention away from your inner feelings to the actual argument so that you can actually, resolve it. Okay, what
Exactly.
happened? How do we fix this?
Yeah, so you work on the problem and then afterwards you address the emotions that you felt. Because our emotions are valid. Okay, ikaw naman. What is the one thing that you do when I'm angry that doesn't help?
Nothing. Wait. Okay, let me justify. Sorry. I don't remember a time where we had an argument that I didn't try to fix right away.
Okay.
Do you remember an argument that we had wherein I did not do everything I could to fix it right away?
You did everything that you could to fix it right away.
Yeah, so that's me. But that's me because I wanted to fix it right away. I don't think there were times that I would make things worse. Although, during lighter arguments, things that aren't so serious, I'm always making things worse. I'm teasing Bonizi, I'm making her kulit, and she just gets picked on every single time.
And then sometimes you do this, Fofo. You're like bunging me, like this. Tapos I'm like, what is he doing? I'm so angry right now. And then you're just like bumping me like, what's your problem, bro? What's your problem?
And then right after that, right before Bonizi explodes, I hug her and I'm super malambing. And she doesn't know what to feel.
Because I'm angry, but at the same time, he's so malambing.
Next question is, what names does Bonizi like for kids?
Ooh. I just didn't want a plain name like mine.
I was about to say, Bonizi wants Mark, Bob.
I've thought of
Jane.
those names. I love those names.
Sorry to all the Mark, Bobs, and Janes out there.
And all the Megans. I'm a Megan.
Siyempre, alam nyo naman, madami kayo dyan sa mundo.
Pero I've always wanted something different and something that I guess would be easy to say. I don't know.
The name of our child will be Solen Andaez.
Solen Ann.
Kainis.
Si Solen tsaka si Ann. Sinama natin. Tapos pag lalaki, Erwan,
Nico.
I don't know. I've never really thought about it. We just thought about having names for our kids related to coffee, but I don't know if that's something I really want to put our kids through in the future.
Yeah. Well, it will be exotic coffee, so people wouldn't know. Robusta Daez.
Arabica dies.
Nekise Daez.
I like that. Ikaw, have you thought of anything else aside from those?
No, I haven't really thought about the names.
Your names, what about your names, magkakapatid? Like, may mga special meaning behind them.
My mom always thought about very exotic names, I would say, relative to the norm, because I'm Mikael,
Yeah.
which isn't, super common.
Well, you're Mikael Stefano,
right?
so...
My sisters Chiara Raisa, Mauro Leonardo, Jose Alessandro. So it's all very parang Alessandro, Mauro,
Parang hindi taga-Pilipinas. guys.
Beatriz.
Yeah. Pero cool. Let's see in the future when we have kids.
Next question.
Fofo, we've been together for 10 years plus. Who is my oldest friend?
Your oldest friend.
As in, pinakamatagal ko ng kaibigan.
Yeah, I was gonna be philosopher.
Yeah, I know. That's why I had to say it out loud. Na
Di
friend ko pa
the-
rin hanggang ngayon.
Would be the chicas. Specifically?
No, I mean the chicas all in one na yun.
Yeah, the chicas pretty much. Even I have become friends with them. One of them came over a couple of days ago.
We just
Easy
hung out.
question.
Yeah, easy question for us. Fofo's oldest friends are definitely his A-boy group, I would say. Am I wrong? Oh my gosh! Fofo!
Who within the A-boy group is my oldest friend? Make a guess.
Okay, this is difficult because his A-boy group, that's like the whole class in itself.
Okay, so just to give you guys a backgrounder, my A-boy group is because I was section A, so in high school. So these are my longtime high school friends.
Parang the chicas.
But syempre, because most of us came from the same grade school, some of them were older friends than the others.
Yes. So grade school
Kasi
pala.
syempre, we all knew each other because since grade school, since prep, most of us were already in the same batch.
Okay.
So who do you think was my oldest friend?
I want to say Mando.
No.
But yeah, because I thought, baka galing siya ibang grade school. Kaya baka mali ako. So, my second guess is Convo.
He might be the second oldest, but
Okay.
the oldest one would be Balma.
Oh gosh, okay. Oh, si
Because he was my
Balma.
classmate back in prep.
Oh my gosh,
And-
ang tagal na!
So we've known each other since
you were
I was
babies.
6 years old.
Oh my gosh,
So which is
Fofo.
crazy. We've known each other for 27 years.
Yeah, almost
so
your
he
whole
would be my oldest friend. Now let's move on to a heavier question.
Okay.
Oh my god. So we do have a heavy topic. What are my biggest regrets?
Ooh, I know that one of your biggest regrets was you not being able to focus on basketball in your early college days.
Yeah, because
Because Fofo's dream was to be, part of the NBA. That was your dream, Fofo.
True.
As a kid, you aim high. So, napabayaan mo yung basketball mo nung first year college ka, second year college. At hindi nagtuloy-tuloy.
because
Because you wanted to party!
Yeah. well, Bonizi put it in a different light. I was gonna say because I was lazy, because I didn't have the work ethic for it. But yeah, all those answers are
Yeah.
correct. We touched on this already in a previous episode, but I was super into basketball back when I was younger, and I did not really see what kind of potential I could realize. So I can't say that I could have been this or I could have been that,
Yeah.
because to be honest with you, I don't know.
Because you didn't try at that time.
Yeah, but what I do see now in hindsight is that if I had the work ethic that I had now, in terms of being able to manage myself, manage my time, and put forth the proper effort
Yeah.
towards a goal, which is something I didn't have at all. Not even in college did I have this. I would have maybe spurts of it in college.
Yeah.
Pag kailangan na kasi bumabagsak na ako ng course, and it would show. But it would be really interesting to see, what kind of basketball player I would have been, if it was just high school level or
Yeah.
college level, or was it pro level
Yeah.
skills that I would have been able to attain. So we would never know, but I think that everybody has these regrets. Everybody has these what ifs, because we all grow up and we all learn things. You're not born out of your mama's womb perfect, knowing everything.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing there is just having fun with the regrets, because they're always gonna be there. I think a lot of people, they use these regrets as a crutch.
Yeah,
And
they're like, I
parang
didn't get this.
they go through life bad trip. It's like your grumpy tito who's like, oo, dapat ganito, pero dahil sa kanya, dahil dyan, dahil... Like, they're blaming everything for, at the end of the day, you are your own person.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, we are not surrounded by things that could support us to the best. I think that holds true for 99% of the people in the world.
Yeah.
So, I think that's our answer to that question. Now,
I have a follow-up though.
okay, go.
Okay. So, like you said, you don't want to use that as a crutch. So, since you didn't go down that path, na nagseryoso ko sa basketball, you don't know what that future could have been, what are the plus sides of you not going in that direction, you think? Like, what are your theories?
I guess if I were to look at a plus side, it would be that I ended up in a place that I didn't expect. Because back when I was a kid, grade school, high school, and college, the only thing I really thought of was basketball, because that's what I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And video games, I absolutely loved video games, but I never thought of it as a profession, because back then,
It wasn't anything,
esports
yeah.
wasn't a thing. You could earn like a couple of pesos playing, but that's it, diba? So it was never really in my mind space. But I think in terms of the advantages, it's that, I accepted very early on that I wasn't made for this career path
Yeah.
of basketball.
Okay.
And that opened me up to other things. And I think, being presented all these other doors when all your life you're looking at this just one door, I think that was a huge opportunity in itself. But then again, it's another thing to say you're presented with other opportunities. It's another thing to say you will take it. Because other people, even though they are presented with different things, they still choose to face the other way, where that other way is already a dead end.
Yeah. I like that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my turn. What is my biggest regret?
Okay, I think that Bonizi's regret, and she never told me this, I am just inferring this from our 10-year-long relationship. I think Bonizi's regret is not having enough confidence when she was in her earlier part of her career to really give her craft a good go at it. Because I think that Bonizi came into showbiz extremely early. She was still forming her confidence. She was forming what kind of worker that she was.
What kind of person I was.
What kind of person that she was. And I think that if she looks back, that she could have explored so much more and really have grown her talents and her crafts at an earlier age. But then again, I mean, you're kind of weighing things out in the sense na, but I was a kid, which she was. She was a teenager. She was like 16, 15 years old. So you have to weigh that out. But just in terms of pure regret, I think that's something that Bonizi has that maybe she hasn't realized. But now that I say it...
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it. But I remember that when I was younger, and we're talking about opportunity because it's something you already brought up now. Sometimes it's just laid out for you and it's up to you to choose. My choice back then was, if I was unsure about it, I would say no to it. And I know that for sure. And you can even ask Ate Gidge, my handler back then, that if there was something I was uncomfortable with doing, or if I just didn't feel like I had the confidence to do it, or I got shunned the first time I did it, then I would just completely say no, because I felt like I would fail at it without even trying. So for me, I was, shifting to my comfort zone. And I admit that. And I wish that I had given myself more of a chance to try new things out back then.
Next question. Okay, Bonizi, I want to ask you, who did you confide in when you were younger?
Like, how young are we talking here?
Yeah, I know, right? Teenager.
Teenager. Definitely my friends, the chicas. Because when I was a teenager, I wasn't super close to Victor and Lauren. I wouldn't say that I confided in them about anything. Like, we'd talk about video games and play games together, but that was it. So it would definitely be the chicas, because I guess all of us were at a time na puberty hit. So we were going through different things in life and trying to figure out, okay, what is right from wrong? Let's stick together.
In my case, if I were to answer the same question, I would say the closest one would be the friends I would go out with. So the A-boys, to a certain extent. But if I were being really honest, you know that I was a bit of an introvert.
No, you still are an introvert.
Yeah, I do have these introvert qualities. So I think that a lot of the things that people would normally confide in others, I would kind of just keep bottled up. Or I would just think through it myself. So not naman bottled up, but I would try to think through it on my own. Because I have this quality where Bonizi describes it quite nicely. I'm a solo gamer.
Yes.
Bonizi is a team player. She loves being with groups, confiding within people, and talking things out. And when I'm faced with a problem, my tendency is, how do I face this problem head on? So my initial thought is never to, okay, come here. How do we fix this problem? It's just two different ways that people address problems. And that's just the difference, I guess, there.
So, Fofo, I hate to bring this up, but since we're talking about confiding, when your dad passed when you were younger, who did you confide in?
We were naturally around a lot of people, so I wouldn't actively reach out to people. But the thing is, people were actively reaching out to all of us as a family, as a group. And I remember very distinctly, I had some relatives who would be talking to us as a group, and a lot of the things that they said stuck with me. So I think that I was lucky enough to kind of just be actively listening.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me. I didn't feel like I needed
to talk to someone.
Tell them and bring something out of myself to address what I was feeling. It was, for me, I guess swerte na lang ako na it kind of worked for me already, that people were around me already talking.
Oh, you don't feel that it bottled up your emotions?
No, I didn't. Actually, I remember some very, very specific quotes that helped me get through it. Like, I remember a release from the heaviness and the weight when I heard one tito say that, your dad is in a better place. That's something to be happy about. To know that he's in a place where, he will be eternally happy. And I was like, yeah, why would I not want my dad to have that?
Mm-mm.
And after he said that, things just started getting lighter and lighter for me. So just to hear that, I was like, oh shoot, that is cool. Like, I really think that was the thought bubble in my head.
That's so interesting because, I mean, for some people, diba, na if you're not able to express yourself, then everything just bottles up inside of you and then eventually you explode. But for you, it was more of you actively listening to people.
Yeah. So people were giving me all these inputs and I just took one and it just worked.
I like that. Oh, I didn't know that about you. Learning new things every day. Okay, next one. What worries me or gives me the most stress?
99.9% of the things in the world stresses Bonizi.
You know me so well!
Bonizi is a stress ball. No, but in all seriousness, si Bonizi, when it comes to mild anxiety and mild stress, it's always at surface levels. Parang matakot lang siya, magulat lang siya, it's already right there
As in,
rising.
pinapawisan na kamay ko, yung kilikili ko, pawis na, alam mo ng stress na.
Diba? Makita lang siya ng heights.
Or sabihin mo lang na gusto ko mag-bungee jumping, nasa stress na
And
ako.
sa stress agad si Bonizi. So, that is her personality. But I think the cool thing with Bonizi is that when it comes to a deeper kind of stress, she's gotten better at managing it. When in other times, she wouldn't know what to do. She would literally be like a chicken with its head cut off, just
Running around.
running around, like just pacing around, not knowing, okay, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to feel? How am I going to process what I'm feeling and what I'm going through? But I hope that the mild anxiety and the mild stress never goes away because that's always something I like making fun of.
Okay, for Fofo, if I'm the stress ball, Fofo is the complete opposite. I think you rarely get stressed, but if there's anything that you would get worried about, it's one, nowadays, safety is something that is a stressor for you. And two, if you lose any, I guess, login details that you might need.
Oh my god, Bonizi gets a hug for that. Okay, this is a podcast topic in the future. Digital security. I'm so big on digital security because we all of us, especially because of this pandemic, we all have so much information. We have money online.
Yeah.
Literally, our mobile bank accounts are online already. So if you do not take care of your digital information and your credentials, oh my god, goodbye to your hard-earned money. Literally, people get scammed. We read about it all the time nowadays. So for me, it's all a learning experience for everyone. Like, okay, how do we protect ourselves more and more? Because the more apps and the more digital platforms come up, the more opportunities there are for us to get hacked.
Yeah.
So
ayan na, nakikita nyo na, nasa-stress na si Fofo just thinking
wow,
about it.
Bonizi, I'm so surprised. She got that on the nose. That's amazing. That is amazing. I have never ever thought about it that way. Bonizi hit it on the head. Woo!
Another hug.
Another hug. Galing ni Bonizi doon na. But you know what? With all other things, I do have this certain way that I look at things whenever things happen around us, Bonizi.
Okay.
And I talked about this because we have friends who like talking in absolutes. We know a lot of people who like saying, I like this. This is what's going to happen. This is the best thing for me. And that's cool. It's okay to talk like that, to have confidence in what you're saying, to claim what you're saying. That's all right. The problem comes where, what if what you say or what you're claiming doesn't happen?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Because the people whom we know don't deal with it very well. They shy away. They tend to become extremely defensive to the point of hurting other people in terms of what they say. In relation to me, I'm the exact opposite of that already. I don't mind claiming things. I also don't mind giving a very tempered approach to other parts of my life. And regardless of the outcome, I'm okay. And I think that's something that Bonizi and I have shared in terms of being in a relationship. That no matter what happens, mapa-jackpot tayo sa loto o mawala lahat ng pera natin the very next day, we've come to an agreement that we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
This is one part of our life that we don't control. We don't know what will happen the next day. So even if the worst case scenario or the best case scenario happens tomorrow, we're still alive to fight another day.
Yeah.
And build towards that, regardless if that's a better future or something that we didn't expect.
Yeah. So much wisdom from Fofo here. What is our next question?
Bonizi, did your parents have a good marriage?
That's a very good question. I would like to believe that they had an amazing marriage in the beginning. And I feel like towards the latter part of their relationship. And this is looking at it from a child's point of view. I guess nawala yung respect nila for each other eventually. And that's how I see it from an observer. And I don't really know the details of their relationship. I know some, but I feel like nawala yung respeto nila sa isa't isa. And that's something na hindi nila na-communicate because they let their emotions take over them rather than talking about it. Because, I would hear them fight, but I don't know, I feel like they weren't able to talk it out.
Bonizi, I will answer for my parents and for your parents.
Okay.
I think they both had good marriages. My belief right now, we're married. I think that 99.9% of marriages in this world are imperfect because they're composed of two imperfect people. So, of course, during the start, there is real love, which I think your parents did have, and which I think my parents had as well.
Yeah.
It's just that over the years, sometimes just a couple of years, and for others, a couple of decades, the relationship attracted so many more elements, good and bad.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the two people who were part of the relationship weren't able to keep up with it, and the relationship eventually eroded.
Yeah, and I also feel like throughout the years, they both changed. They went in different directions, and maybe their relationship might not have been their priority.
Which is why I do agree to a certain extent when people say that, that's why love is a choice. You get married and you commit, and you always choose to commit every day.
Yes.
And I completely understand that. But the fact of the matter is that there are others who feel like the weight of that choice and the weight of that commitment is just too much. That's why there are couples who end up separated. In other countries, they end up divorced. And we're not blind to that. The world is home to so many different kinds of personalities.
Yeah.
So thus, so many different kinds of couples as well. And that's just the fact of life.
Yeah. Wala naman akong magagawa dun. That's their relationship. Okay, next.
Next question. What do you wish I would do more of in this relationship?
Honestly, Fofo, I don't know if I would ask you to do more. I'm so happy with our relationship and our dynamic. But I know it's not more of what I wish you would do, but more of what I wish I would do in this relationship.
No, okay, so you have to think of one thing that you wish I would do.
Okay. Gosh, this is so hard.
Okay, so I'll go first.
Okay. What is something that you wish I would do for our relationship?
I wish that you would clean up all your trash more often.
Really?
Yeah, so Bonizi doesn't realize. So in Bonizi's head, I am very, very messy. And we talked about this kanina.
Yeah.
But in reality, Bonizi is messier than me. Because there comes a point, I have a tipping point. And when I hit that tipping point, I clean everything that I have.
Okay.
Bonizi, I have never seen the tipping point yet.
Okay, I will admit, it's
So
like
she's
in
not-
different corners of the house.
So I have the capacity to be extremely messy in a short amount of time. But then my tipping point is quite low. So I will tend to clean that up right away. Bonizi is not as messy as me in a short amount of time. But I've never ever seen her suddenly say, I need to clean up everything.
You're right, my desk is so full right now.
Yeah, I think our work desks are very good examples. You would see my work desk become insanely messy in like one day. But maybe like sometime during that week, all of a sudden it's like super clean. Like everything's cable managed.
Yeah.
There are new accessories for organization. Bonizi has never cleaned her desk. The few times that Bonizi's desk has ended up looking clean was because I could not take it and I had to clean it for her.
He cable managed for me last week.
And I always wonder, I was like, when is Bonizi going to realize that what she has is so messy? I always wonder. It's beyond me. I don't know. I'm cool with it, okay? So I wish you would show me where the tipping point was. I'm not necessarily complaining. I'm just doing this for the sake of answering the question.
Okay. I will take that into consideration.
You know, it's a wonder. It's a life mystery for me.
Let's see in the coming weeks. Okay, my turn. What is one thing that I wish you would do is that I know you have a reason for this, but I wish that if I asked you something, it wouldn't take me 10 times to ask you before you answered me. Because Popo is so busy with like a lot of stuff. I understand that. But it's like he has earplugs like in his ears connected na wala siyang naririnig na ibang tao. So I wish your hearing was more aware.
I agree. When I'm doing something and I'm working on my computer and I'm extremely concentrated and all my attention is focused on what I am doing and Bonizi asks me a question, nanonote ko naman yung question. Yun lang napupunta sa backlog. So parang may list ako sa utak ko. And then when I'm done with everything on top and then I see Bonizi's question, that's when I will go to her and say, oh, this is my response.
Yeah, lately when you don't answer me, I just walk away. I'm like, he's not gonna answer me right now. I'll ask later.
Okay, so we're heading towards the end of our game. We're not even gonna be able to finish all of the questions because ang dami nating sinasabi. But I like this one question. What personality trait of mine do you wish was less intense?
This is so hard because you're so intense.
I know, that's why.
Like, Popo has like the most intense personality when it comes to everything. Mapa-work man yan, mapa-good time, or like even his laugh. But, Popo, I love your intensity. That's what I love about you. And I honestly don't know if I would want something less intense because then it wouldn't be Fofo. Did I answer your question? Or do you really want me to answer this?
I want you to answer this for the sake of the question.
Ikaw muna.
Okay, so I honestly wish that there were something about Bonizi that I would want to be less intense.
Because there's nothing
there's not much.
intense.
For the sake of answering this question, I wish that Bonizi were less intense about resting. Because sometimes Bonizi is resting for 2.5 days. And she still feels like she needs more rest. And I'm like, get your butt out of that bed and do something with your life, girl.
I now know the answer to this question for you.
Go.
I wish that you had at least a rest day, Fofo. You know how to relax, yes. But in between those relaxing moments, you're still working. So I love that you're working and you're hardworking and you like the grind. Pero bigyan mo naman ng break yung sarili mo. So yun sana yung bawasan, yung bigyan mo lang ng break yung sarili mo, Fofo. So baliktad tayo.
So because I am a very obedient person, I'm going to take a break right now. We are ending the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Fofo.
And I'm Bones and this is #BehindRelationshipGoals. See you guys.
Bye.